is Jane Sim. My capstone advisor is Dr. Boots Sue. I work in the Instructional Development Services Department at Cal State San Marcos, and my capstone project is a self-paced online training on using Cougar Courses, which is what we call our learning management system at Cal State San Marcos. And the plan is to offer this as a prerequisite to the face-to-face quality online teaching and learning training that we give at Cal State San Marcos. First, I want to thank my client and boss, Barbara Taylor, is here in the audience. She's the lead instructional developer at Cal State San Marcos, and I really appreciate her support throughout this process. So we offer this face-to-face training to help teachers meet these objectives for teaching online according to the COLT instrument, which is, as Dr. Boots mentioned, it's similar to the Quality Matters set of objectives. And while we're giving the training, we're focusing on higher level pedagogical issues. And often faculty are trying to switch the conversation to how do I perform procedures in the learning management system? And we're trying to describe best practices, and they're trying to imagine what these even look like in the online classroom environment. Having a lack of image of performing a procedure can lead to distraction from learning. It can hinder them from immediately applying their learning to developing their courses. You know, in our case, we have this week-long face-to-face training, and we're telling them, don't worry about it. After the training, we'll help you to build these things in your course, but that's distracting and it's a delay. And also having a lack of image can lead to a lack of confidence in the online classroom environment. So I had this idea already of our learners having a lack of image performing tasks. So when I learned about Albert Bandura's social cognitive learning theory, I latched right onto it, and that became my inspiration for my solution. And so my goal became to build the self-efficacy of our learners for teaching online, for using technology to teach online. The best way to build self-efficacy is to provide hands-on practice. So that became the cornerstone of my product. Modeling also supports the building of self-efficacy. So I have modeling in my project in 3 different ways. I recorded peer perspective videos of faculty talking about using tools. I used cartoon characters within interactive scenarios. And the online training itself is a course in the learning management system, so it serves as a model for the online classroom. I found worked examples to be a really handy instructional strategy that was complementary to these efforts. Because I was providing hands-on practice, I have things in my project which are demos, like software demos and you try it, and sometimes those can be kind of bland and disengaging. So keeping the structure of worked examples in mind, I chunked the demonstrations out so that the learners always had an opportunity to solve part of the problem along the way. And then by the end of each module, they complete a final long mastery experience. So the end result is the self-paced online training that's housed in a Moodle container, and it contains peer perspective videos and interactive modules, and I'll show that to you. Was it?
Yeah.
So here's the online training housed in Moodle. And I have 3 primary modules or sections here in the training. The first one is on creating discussion forums in your online classroom. And for that I have a peer perspective video, and then I have an interactive module which I used Adobe Captivate to create those interactive modules. And they have character scenarios and software demonstrations and new triads. And then also learners can share their feedback anonymously for each. So I have forums, setting up Turnitin assignments with rubrics, and recording mini lectures.
To improve your courses, and you can use a rubric to efficiently grade.
I'll skip ahead to the
get
menu.
hands-on practice setting this up. This lesson includes the
And for the
following
interest of
sections.
time, I'm
and this
going to
menu
skip
can be
ahead to their
accessed
final you
Set
try
up a
it.
Turnitin assignment. Your turn now. Vicki would like your help setting up a Turnitin assignment. She's created this list of assignment details that you can refer to at the bottom left of your screen during the setup.
So a real challenge for me is when they're setting these tools up, there's no really any right or wrong answer, and that's where the character scenarios become really important. So there's a character that's a faculty member that has a particular goal in mind. So based on what their goal is determines what's right or wrong when they're clicking through. So within here, if they click on something wrong, it tells them what to click on.
This assignment relates to the Road Trip USA section.
So it was really important for me to provide this list of assignment details, particularly for this task, because it's kind of hard to know what settings to set up if you don't know what you're trying to do. And because this is integrated into Moodle as a SCORM package, I do have this data as well. I can kind of go and look and see how well people are doing. But primarily this is practice. So I performed formative and summative assessments on this training. For the summative assessment, for the formative assessment, I started with just the first module I created. I did usability testing with 3 participants. It was summer, so I used staff members instead of faculty for that one. And that led to significant changes in the navigation from what I had originally designed in the first module. I had the table of contents on the side originally, but I found that my participants didn't use the table of contents to move around. And then I measured the effectiveness of the first module with 10 faculty. And after I developed the whole training, I did another usability testing with 4 faculty. And then finally, when everything was set and ready, I did my summative evaluation of the learning effectiveness with 10 faculty. They weren't exact representatives of the target audience because some of them had already taught online and some of them weren't planning to teach online, so it was just a mixture of faculty and Cal State Summer Books. This is a t-test I did that did demonstrate learning gains between the pre and post tests of the 10 faculty. I use in Moodle, I set it up so they had to take a pre-test before they could see the modules, and then they couldn't see the post-test until they did them or clicked through the modules at least. And this graph demonstrates that the learning gains between the pre-test and post-test. But those questions aside, the main goal was to raise self-efficacy, so I did also include some confidence measurement questions, basic to set up this X tool right now, how confident do you feel that you can? And in 2 out of the 3 tools, I got good results. And learners appreciated, I asked some open-ended questions, and learners really appreciated the immediate feedback they got throughout interacting with the interactive modules. So looking to the future, we will be offering the face-to-face CULT training in early summer, and so at that time we'll offer this as a prerequisite to the face-to-face training. And I'm thinking of ways to reevaluate the training once it actually is offered in conjunction with the face-to-face to make sure it's effective as a prerequisite. And the bigger goal is when we teach the teachers that we improve student learning. Questions? Yes.
In order to get the 10 faculty to participate in this, did you offer them chocolate or did you threaten to destroy their courses?
I help them every day. I'm often at their beck and call, so enough of them appreciate it.
Any other question?
I'm curious about the sort of social aspects that you had the scenarios for the characters, and then at one point you said that they could leave anonymous feedback. What was the anonymous feedback on, and how did that help with the learning?
So the anonymous feedback tool was external to the interactive module, and that's something we do encourage faculty to do when they're teaching online for the first time, is to set up some feedback tools in their course so they can, so it's modeling a practice of how you can check where your students are at. And I was challenged by the fact that this is a self-paced, lonely training, trying to be a model for online teaching where you're actually building instructor-to-student relationships and student-to-student relationships. So I try to build in opportunities for communication. And they're just open-ended questions on